In this video, I'm going to be talking about my month 1 update to my lean bulking journey. When I first began this bulk, I weighed in at about 146 pounds, which is about 66.2 kilograms. What I can tell you guys is that at this weight, I was lean, I had a beach body, I had abs, and overall, I had a pretty good amount of definition within my muscles. But I always struggled with this one problem, because deep down, I wanted to be bigger. I wanted to have a body to where when I walk into a room, I become like the icebreaker. My physique where I am right now just wasn't cutting it. It wasn't enough to really like become that icebreaker. And in order for me to get to that point where my body becomes, an icebreaker, my presence becomes way more known, I know deep down inside that I have to put on just a little bit more size. Even before I started bulking, I always strive to have a lean body at 160 to 165 pounds. Like, to me, that is just my end goal, because I feel like I would just look like a Greek god at that point. And in order for me to get closer to that, I have to, do a sort of bulk. And that's where I came to the conclusion that I was gonna go on a 9th month bulk. And if you're interested to see, what I'm currently doing in order to bulk overall, I'm gonna have a video somewhere around here where you get to see exactly what I'm gonna do in order to bulk throughout these 9 months. Now, here's the thing. Currently, I work out about 5 days a week, and I always attempt to hit each muscle group at least twice a week. And throughout each gym session, I always strive to not only just to hit weights, but I always make sure I do about 15 to 30 minutes of cardio each day. And the reality is that, it really depends on the day. But what does not depend on the day is abs. And I do abs every single time that I work out in the gym. And as I'm bulking, I always strive to keep my abs as developed as possible, so that way when I get lean, my abs can look even more rigid at a bigger weight. And also, if I can develop my abs, it would just flatten out my stomach a little bit more throughout the process when I'm just putting on more and more weight. And throughout this month, I have been striving to eat about 170 grams of protein while having a budget of 2,300 calories. When it comes to dieting, I always strive to have about 2 to 4 liters of water a day, which is about 4 to 8 bottles of water a day. And here's the thing, is that in my head and with my logic and my experience, I believe that as I'm able to optimize my health more, as I'm able to just, eat more protein, eat healthier foods overall, I am putting myself in a position to where I get to optimize this bulk to the best of my ability. Before we continue, if you like this video so far, please leave a like button and also leave a comment and subscribe so that way more people get to see this video. Now, let's continue with the video. I honestly am very uncertain about, how much muscle I'm gonna honestly be able to put on, especially because I have been working out for about 3 years. I was lean at about 146 pounds, and I'm currently at a height of 5'8". When it comes to consistency, I have been fairly consistent. If I get to be completely honest with you guys, I have been about 70% consistent to 80%. And I say this because nobody is perfect, and I'm not perfect, you're not perfect. As I've been bulking, as there has been a fair amount of celebrations seldomly here and there, for those type of days, I just have been just indulging in those foods. Let's say there's a party that happened, which is true. I had a birthday party, it was my mother's birthday, and I was just indulging in whatever food was there, and I was just enjoying myself. And the thing is that sometimes the scale will go all the way up, and then sometimes I'd barely eat, and then the scale will go all the way down. But what I can tell you is that throughout this month I put on about 8 pounds, which according to Google is 3.6 kilograms. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm a little bit concerned because 8 pounds is not really ideal for a lean bulk, because it's a little bit too fast. But to me, it's not a big deal, because at the very worst, I could just maintenance that weight until time catches up to where I'm supposed to be at that weight at that particular week. Because for those of you guys who don't know, I strive to gain about 1 pound per week. My end goal is to get to 180 pounds in hopes to get lean at about 160 pounds in 9 months. Now, one thing that I did learn in this month is that I was able to honestly put on strength as I just eat healthier foods. And if you guys get to take away one thing from this video, is that when you do your bulk, do it slow and steady, and also eat clean, so that way, you know, you're minimizing the amount of fat that you're putting on while optimizing the amount of muscle that you get to put on for that particular month, or 2 months, or 3 months, or 9 months, or however long you guys are going to bulk. So this is my progress within 9 months. I hope you guys are interested and you get to be inspired to start your own fitness journey, whether you have to cut down weight, whether you have to put on more weight. You know, I hope you guys are keeping up with your own progress, with your own journey. And if you enjoy videos like this, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video.